Hello.
Hello, and welcome to the critique stream, wherein we critique your comics and art and stuff. And by your comics and art, we mean patrons that pay $8 a month. I'm sorry. If you wanted to join, you gotta be a patron. Okay? So yeah. Being a patron isn't that hard. You don't have to stay a patron forever. Getting out one thing of art a month, that's hard. So we're going to do things a little slightly different this week because we can go on forever talking about your art. So we're going to do 20 minutes each. So long form, it gets the full 20 minutes. And for those of you that submitted like multiple pieces, it'll be a divided 20 minutes. Well, you're here now, Soul. Because we're late. Because Ursula hates you and loves tea.
I just love to drink tea.
She just drinks tea all the time. I don't know what we're doing right now.
Sorry, I'm bringing up the chat because I was wildly unprepared for this.
Yeah, we're really unprepared. We always read it on the last day.
Don't tell anyone.
You have to leave in 20-ish minutes. So let's get Battery done first, quick.
Okay.
That was another reason I wanted to rush, because Battery's sick today and has to go.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
You're hurting everyone, Ursula,
Why am I a bad person?
by being ugly.
Ah!
Everyone's blaming me for the ugly thing, but Ursula was like, I'm ugly today, and I wanted to get your opinions on this.
But everyone agreed I'm ugly.
You're sick and have to work. So let's start with Battery. Battery only has one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Battery was... I appreciate you, Battery, because you submitted your thing really early.
Yeah.
And... yeah.
I'm going to do a little 20-minute
Kudos.
timer. I doubt we'll do 20 minutes on this.
I know.
But, all right.
Thank you, June, for agreeing with me about my... Oh my god, there was a motorcycle. I thought it was Fado.
Ursula.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Can I start the 20 minutes now, or are we going to
Yes.
talk to the audience?
We're going to look at battery stuff.
Stop bullying Ursula. Ursula is the ultimate Ursula bully. Sorry, I'm also off topic. I complain about Ursula doing things, but literally I'm the worst.
Okay.
But I can't take criticism like Ursula can. Okay, 3, 2, 1, battery time.
Okay, so the comment says just basic things like color and, basic critique. This character is Onyx, he, him. He's my persona, and he's a fox, tiger, goat thing. Okay.
I love your persona, and I love that furries are in our community.
Hell yeah.
Ursula, talk. You're the art one. I always talk over you. I need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Talk.
Okay. So, number 1, very cute. 10 out of 10 persona. Persona? Okay, so number 1, I really like the colors. They feel very balanced. They're
10
very
out of 10.
bright. They look very, they're very, happy and energetic, which is mirrored in the expression of Onyx. And I like, there's a good balance between the different values of blue and the white cream of the fur and stuff. It's not all super dark and it's not all super light. You've got a good variety and value here. So there's darks and lights, etc. There's good contrast between the different portions of the fur and the hair. Nothing's blending together. You can tell it all apart. Ursula's pretty. Oh, thanks. I was being very dramatic this morning. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, I like the contrast between the blue and the cream and the gold in the eyes. The color palette is super... It's very cute and it's very balanced. I love the little sparkles all over. That's 10 out of 10, really cute. I also like how it's not...
Oh my... Sorry.
Bones, are you yelling at the chat right now?
No, I just noticed that battery's signature is a battery, and I think it's really cute.
Oh, I didn't notice So that's really cute. Okay. The
June, shut your mouth.
Yeah, I like how there's little touches of like uniqueness, because I know like with personas, like, you know, you want to have like unique markings and colors so that your character isn't like just a plain looking fox or whatever. Like you want to make them like a sparkle fox, but like not overly designed. And I feel like you've got a good balance. Like there's a good through line with the circles, like under the eyes and on the nose, as like I think they're the little whisker ports, you know, on the face.
Whisker ports.
You know, like the little dot where the whisker comes out. You know, the whisker ports.
Sorry, did you hear that meow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like how there's this through line of like the 3 dots there and on the whiskers, and then the little tongue ring dot. That's really cute. I like the little light blue highlight that goes around through it, that lines everything between the cream and the darker blue whisker ports.
We gotta be good to Battery. Battery shy.
Yeah.
We're building up Battery's confidence.
Exactly. I'm saying your design is really cute here. But yeah, good through line there. Feels very balanced. Especially like the symmetry really helps. Well, sorry, you giggling.
I'm reading the chat. Don't worry
Okay,
about it.
okay.
I'm being really good and not interrupting you.
Oh, thank you.
Stop causing me to interrupt you.
But yeah, good color balance, good design.
Keep going. Keep going.
Do
Do you have any criticisms?
I think
Compliment sandwich. You gotta get to the spicy meat in the middle.
the spicy meat. I find the horns feel a little they feel more stylized than the rest of it, because you have lots of detail on the fur. You have like you show the crinkles on the snoot, because like he's smiling. There's all the little details, like even within the mouth, like with the teeth and the tongue and stuff.
Sorry. Battery's a vegetarian. We gotta get to the spicy soy salami in the middle. Okay, sorry.
The spicy tofu.
Yeah,
Okay.
spice tofu.
Right. So like there's lots of detail within all the other elements, like even the hair is highly rendered, and you can see like the highlights and the shadows, and there's lots of lines going through it. But I find the horns like they don't have any ornament on them. Like they're shaded in a way like that they have form, like you can see like the shadow and the highlight and stuff. But I find they're a little simple compared to the other elements within this design in particular. And I think part of why they stand out to me so much is just because they're very big and wide and yet very simple. So I think that there's like a couple ways you could go with it. You could maybe add more detail to the horns. You could maybe tone down the detail elsewhere on the character. I think even making the horns maybe thinner would make them feel a little less distracting than where they are right now.
Or chubby chonky, like car cat nubs.
Yeah, or they could be shorter, you know. They either gotta be little noodle boys or little stubby boys. But it's up to you. It's whatever you would prefer, because it's your character, it's your design. Play around with it a little bit.
You know, car cat nubs like June has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall very cute. There's like a few small little there's a little anatomy wonk on the snoot. Because it looks like, here, I'll redline it.
I does do Homestuck. Ursula has not does Homestubs.
I haven't Humstubs. Oh no. Color palette, come back.
Some little PSL action here.
Because, like, up here is really great. Like, you've really shown the form of the snout and shown good foreshortening. But I find the nose is a little, like,
Was that an alarm or our dog?
I think it was our dog.
Okay.
It's not quite as symmetrical as I think the form of the snout lends to it. Like, this nostril's kind of going up where this one's like more down here. And the jaw doesn't quite line up with the rest of the face. Because I find like up here, you're good. But then, and admittedly, opening mouths on animals is really hard. There's a lot going on. But like you got the internal stuff really good. I just find like the jaw kind of goes off to the side a little bit.
Closing my mouth is really hard.
Goes off to the side a little bit and gets a little kind of skewed weird, as if it's like on a different angle than the top of the face. But it's like it's so close to like sorry, our dog is going crazy upstairs.
Dum dum dum
Dum, 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 dum. So I think just shifting it over a little bit over this way even would just make it feel a little bit more structured and like filling out the jaw a little bit. But otherwise it looks really good. It was a really good job. These are very small nitpicks I have.
I gave Serena a whole jar of Cheese Whiz, and she's just losing her mind upstairs.
So Bones, what do you want to say?
I agree with Ursula.
Thank you.
I agree. I let you talk, and you said all the things I would have said. So
Alright.
don't worry about it. Except for the little battery. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. I don't want to talk forever in circles like I do.
Your dogs are chaotic.
When
They
a cartoon
are.
wolf has a more defined jawline than you. My dog... Madica's asleep. Fader's asleep. Sabrina is a Cheese Whiz fiendo.
She's having a Cheese Whiz party upstairs.
So
So yeah, do you have any questions, Battery? Did we say anything that you need clarified or anything like that? Drinking my tea, and this time I won't explode the cup.
that's what she thinks right now. They're all good. They're always all good. We barely have to ask.
Oh, but I always want to give the opportunity, you know?
Yeah, but that's why our streams end up 5 hours long.
Okay.
One day you'll critique my persona. I critique you every day, June.
Continues to explode cup. Okay, so let's move on. So Nice said they were going to be late.
How many has Nice a minute? Oh, wait. Okay, who are we going to next?
Who should we go to next? So who are our options? We have PK, Hex, Ren,
Ace is here.
Ace. Okay, let's do Ace.
How many did Ace do? 3?
3.
Okay, so it's like 7 minutes each.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start you a little timer. Tell me when you're ready to talk about some Ace of Pan.
Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, start.
The first one, I haven't gotten much comic stuff done this month. Experimenting with style. The first piece is my D&D character. He's an air genasi, air elemental, and he does magic. Thoughts on the coloring, shading, expression, line art, and general design. Okay, so number 1, I really like the kind of hollow effect going on with the coloring on the hair and the skin and all the sparkles.
Sugoi.
Yes, it's very cute. I don't know how you managed to get that effect. It's one that's always kind of like eluded me, but it looks really, really cute. Very shiny. The design work. I like the through line of the crescent going on. Like it's in his hair and it's like inverted on his bangs. He's got the moon on his forehead, obviously, then like on his shirt. and in like the shapes of his hair and stuff. That's really, really cute. Very good little through line there. I find I personally find the little frill on the shirt a little distracting from the rest of it, because the rest of it has this very like kind of pointy feel to it, where this just feels a little bit too round compared to the rest of the design, especially because he's got so many like sparkles and pointed stars and stuff on him. Like it just feels like the only kind of like really soft element on his design. Admittedly, if I saw like maybe the rest of his outfit or the rest of his design, like the whole body, I would kind of see maybe more of that. Yeah, overall, like the colors are really great as always. You always have really nice color palettes. Ace. Yeah, there's so many like colors going on in here, but they all really mesh well together. Like I really like how cool toned they are, and yet they still feel very like bright and shiny. And like I don't know how you got this like holographic look to it. It's just like because it's a gradient from like blue to green on here, and it does like a nice little contrast with the orange and the blue. It's just really nice. 10 out of 10. And yeah, good variants of like different colors throughout. Like I like how you've kind of paired all the blues with like an orange, so it's always kind of like bouncing off each other. Like it goes like orange, blue, like it's really nice. Everything's very like you can clearly tell all the different parts apart. Very good, very cute. And your expressions are always improving. Like I can tell he looks very like shocked and cute and nervous. Yeah, overall really good. Good stuff, as always. Oh, geez, I have 3 minutes left. Okay. I was like rushing because I was like, oh no.
I like it.
Yeah, what do you guys say, Bones?
I gotta say that Serena ripped up all of the labels off the cheese, and was unable to get the bottom half, so she was throwing it around her kennel. So I took it away, and I think the chaos has ended. I don't know what you said about it. I really like it. It's really shiny.
Yeah, that's basically what I said.
Yeah, and I really like the through lines of it. The shoulders are a bit wonk.
Yeah, because this one is very straight and this one's very pulled up, where if this one pulls up, this one might pull down more or also be pulled up.
Yeah, but it also feels like stylistically like something maybe you're going for to like
Yeah.
kind of push it into a shape. In which case, I might push the bottom a bit more to like just cut it more in that heart shape or more in that angle. I don't know.
Yeah. I also like the composition you did in the background
Yeah.
of like the circle and the stars kind of framing him,
Yeah.
because otherwise like his hair would really blend in with the yellow background.
Yeah. It's really cute.
Heck yeah.
Okay. Do you want to just move on to the next one? Unless you have questions.
Yep.
We have like 2 minutes left on this.
Let's keep going. Maybe we can have more time with the other ones. Queer wolf. Ooh, woo.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, so
7 minutes on the clock starting now.
the next one is a design for an acrylic charm. It's a werewolf colored like the genderqueer flag, and the white space will be clear once it's a charm, and the signature won't be there either. Thoughts on the coloring, posing, overall composition, line art, and how appealing / marketable it looks would be good. Okay, so
I'm gay.
I guess my one thing I'd worry about, I don't know how large this charm is going to be, but unless it's like a large charm, like a few inches wide, I'd be worried about losing all the details, especially like the little moons and stars in their hair. And like all these nice little details like the polka dot socks and like, you just got lots of nice little details unless it's like really big. It's going to be a couple inches. Okay. Yeah, definitely like test print it at like actual size to make sure you get all your details showing.
Yes.
I like the colors. 10 out of 10 as always. Um bup, 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 bup,
It's probably gonna print a bit dark,
bup.
especially in the legs.
Yeah, I might get a bit lost like in here.
Is it in RGB? It looks really RGB-y. Is this like a ping file of it?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I dare you to make one critique this whole stream. I can't because 2 people are asking about writing, so it's a ping.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be careful because there's some really bright spots that I don't know about the conversion.
Are you thinking like the
Like
pinks and the greens?
The pinks and like the greens, yeah. And then some of the things will print kind of dark.
Yeah, I find yeah, it's pronounced ping. Yeah, definitely check. I know purples tend to be a little bit dark when they print. I find they also gray out a little bit, so if you're yeah, just definitely test it before you go ordering the charms. I like how the one hand is like a human hand and the other one's a paw. That's really cute. That's a really cute detail. Ba, 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 ba. What?
I just read the introduction to pings. Ping is spelled PNG or Portable Networks Graphic and always pronounced ping in English, not pinge or PNG or any other multisyllabic disaster.
Whoa.
For non-English speakers, the 3-letter pronunciation is fine, however.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. It is not a
monosyllabic
Canadian thing.
disasters. Okay. The line art is
Sorry, I think I found a new GIF debate.
oh no. I like the different line weights you have going on. Like I especially like it. It's very clear in the moon here, where it's beneath the moon is like thicker and darker, whereas on top is like a more thin line, which I really like. I think you could push it more elsewhere, and definitely test to see if like the difference is noticeable when you print it, because these lines do look like they're pretty thin, so I don't know how clear they'll be once you print them. But I think there's more places where you could throw a bit more of a weighty line beneath things to show more kind of like shadow and weight to them. For example, like under the chin here. You've done it really well on the tail, like all these little bits hanging underneath like the fluff are more weighty, which kind of implies like more shadow and more weight to the actual that part of the object. And I think you could just like push it a little bit more here and there, because I like what you've done with like the folds in the clothing having like thinner lines, to make them feel less
I'm
like
sorry that Ursula is a graphic designer. Do people at work call them pings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My lead designer, who's been at this for like 20 years, calls them pings.
Yeah.
Oh, but then, so yeah, I like how you've done like thin lines for the folds, and then for major objects like the sleeve and the front of the shirt and stuff, you've got like weightier lines there. And I think you just need to like keep an eye to make sure it's consistent throughout, because there are a few places where you've got like thick lines on top. Like for example, on this fluff, it feels a little weighty on the one side. and it doesn't feel as purposeful as elsewhere. So that's just one thing to keep an eye on in your line work if you are intending to use line weight. Yeah. Because I find if you do like a style where you do like lines that are very thin and kind of one weight throughout, like it's all the same weight, your lines kind of disappear. But if you want to bring more attention to them, then adding like more weight to certain parts of it can really emphasize like the form of different things. But yeah. So yeah, just check your contrast when you print so that you're not losing your line work in the pants, and make sure that your colors are all showing through really nice. Bones. Stop.
Sorry, it's not a RAR file, it's a RAR nuzzles.
Oh,
Sorry.
we're out of time. Do you have any questions on that, Ace? Let us know. But yeah, that's really cute. I think that's very marketable, and I think lots of people would buy it.
Heck yeah.
Can attest, because right now we're selling a queer werewolf book, and people seem to really like it.
Wow, way to make this about yourself.
Here.
All right, next one.
Can you plug me in?
Nope. I am farther away from it than you are.
It's stuck behind you, though.
Oh my god. Well, why didn't you just say, can you kill yourself? Whoa.
Whoa, dude.
I don't know what to do. It's stuck. Oh no.
Oh, no.
I have coffee. Sorry.
Dude. Rude. It was intense. I'm just asking you to move a cord. Oh my god.
I'm sorry. There. I panicked and I wanted to die. Hi, guys.
Apologies for that. Oh my god, Bones.
Bones has actually lost it. Excuse me. It's not pronounced HTML. It's called hot meal.
Hot meal. Oh my god.
Oh. DAT ass. Oh my god.
Okay, last one. I need my timer.
I got it. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I'm so useless, guys. Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, critique.
Last but not least, a random OC from an RP with some friends of mine. He's a werewolf gangster who tries to seem tough and cool, but is kind of soft to certain people. Thoughts on the color, shading, expression, general design, and line art. Okay. He's very cute. 10 out of 10. Okay. What stands out to me is that you have a lot of contrast going on in the coat and the collar. And the kind of hollow stuff you're doing on it really stands out. Ursula, what did you give Bones? I don't know. He's full of bad vibes today. Right, so there's really good contrast on the coat. The color on the hollow stuff really shines. You can tell the forms apart, especially because you have that like bright red line on the black of the coat. But I find all of the contrast is really missing from the face and the hair and the top half of this. Just because there's so little contrast between like the red of his hair and the lines.
It's Jif, not Jif. I agree.
What was it? Right. So yeah, there's very low contrast between the line work and the colors on the face and the hair. And there's very low contrast between, not all of it. Actually, the hollow stands out pretty well, especially when you get to like the lighter values here and the greens against the red. But I think I think what's happening because there's so low contrast between the hair and the skin and the line work, the only thing that's popping out is the hollow stuff. So you kind of don't look at his face because you're following the little hollow lines.
I dig it.
So I think if you're gonna go pastel, like it looks like you are, correct me if I'm wrong, with his skin and his hair, you either need to darken your line work up or you need to lighten up the color of his skin and hair more and make it more like desaturated and light, if that makes sense. Maybe not desaturated, but more light. But I think if you really want this hollow stuff to pop, I think you need to darken the red, honestly, because red is such a good contrast with the green in here that if it's a little darker, then it'll shine more.
Alternative, make his skin holographic, like a flashing GIF.
Yes.
No, don't do that.
What?
Do mine last again? Yeah, we'll do. I'll do you last.
Yep.
Oh my god, I'm bleeding everywhere.
Oh god. Wow. What's happening to Bones? Is he okay?
That's just my toe. It does that.
Right. Just randomly bleeds.
Blued.
Bleed.
Hollow skin. Hollow Knight. Can you imagine? Ace, challenge. Make someone with hollow skin and make it look cool.
Yeah.
Like, make it not distracting. Do it. Actual challenge from me to you. Like a tiefling that's holographic.
Hollow tiefling. That'd be pretty cute. His expression.
Yes, thank you.
On the line work, I think I have the same feelings about the queer werewolf one, where I think you need to push the line weight a little bit more, because I can see some places where like it feels like weightier, like I said, like at the bottom of the jacket, for example, and on his nose to like imply more shadow. But I think you need to push it more elsewhere in the design, and be really thoughtful about where you put it. His expression doesn't feel like I feel like you could push it more.
Push him.
It feels a little neutral to me.
Fling him off a cliff.
Whoa, okay.
Just push that face. Sorry, keep going, Ursula.
Bones, are you okay?
No.
But yeah, I think I think it just, the expression needs to be pushed more. I'm not exactly like, it feels like he's smiling, but it doesn't feel like his eyes match that. His eyebrows feel kind of like neutral and like relaxed. So that, you could push him more, like furrow his brow, maybe widen the smile, things like that, to really kind of push his expression more, because I'm not exactly sure what he's expressing here. It looks neutral.
He's tall,
or
so
worried.
other people are the floor. Oh my god, why is there so much blood? Are you planning on roasting on the rest of Sovereign? Yeah, probably just not next video.
Yeah.
Gotta keep it different.
Am I missing anything? Design, expression, color.
Is it just me, or is his collarbone really low? Or am I looking at it weird? I'm looking at it from an angle. Oh, okay.
I think it's okay.
Dem clavicles.
He's got those good clavicles.
I just want to grab them. You ever see that? Like someone's clavicle, and you're just like, I could climb that. Like I could. Perfect
it's like a little
grapples.
handhold.
Yeah, it's like in Assassin's Creed where you just see certain walls that are rough and climbable. That's me with people's clavicles.
Oh dear.
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, do you have any questions?
I love Sovereign. Oh,
Oh. Well, let us know if you have any questions, Ace.
it's a ladder. He's so tall. You need them clavicle grip spots. Okay. What's next?
What's next?
Oh, the design.
Oh, the design.
Cute. Needs a pompadour.
Don't listen to Bones today. I think he does feel very werewolfy to me because he's got like the pointy teeth and he's got lots of luscious hair.
Okay, not to cut in, but speaking of me being awful today, we went to Starbucks this morning to get PSLs, and Ursula got a cold one and I got like a hot one, and the barista was like, "Oh, so do you want like, just to confirm, you want one cold one and one hot one?" I'm like, "Ursula's the hot one. I'm the cool one."
And me and the barista were like, "What?"
Because I said it
get
like
it.
3 minutes after.
We were both confused.
I was like, because he said one cold one and one hot one.
I know, and it was after like he complimented your shirt.
Yeah.
We're like, what? I'm confused.
This is me and the freaking peahen all over again.
It just sounds.
Sometimes I'm just full of confidence. They also look trans, and I wanted to show, are you trans too? But I didn't, because clocking people is rude.
It is.
But sometimes you just see someone and you're like me.
I need.
You have trans energy. If you're not trans, I'm not sorry. Nothing wrong with looking trans. What? Sorry.
The P what? There was a peahen, as in like the lady peacock.
Oh, it's gonna be on the vlog.
Oh, you're right.
If you're a patron, you probably could. Oh yeah, you would have seen it on the vlog. But it's an hour-long vlog, so no one saw it except June. Because June's my stalker. Bones is trans. Wow, how did I miss this?
Shocking reveal.
Does truth come out? Is Bones does trans?
Oh, but we were at the zoo and someone was like looking at this peahen and he was like, he was talking to his kid or something and he was like, "Oh, watch out for the peacock." And Bones was like, "Wow, she's a peahen. Don't misgender her."
I think I said that after, but I think I was like, peahen. She's a lady. Be respectful.
All right, be respectful.
What's a peahen? I don't know. It's on film. Okay, well, we should stop doing this and continue critiquing.
We should.
I am so sorry. Fight against me, for I am a powerful thing.
So I like the general direction of his design. He feels very werewolfy. He feels very tough. Because he's got like I'm assuming it's like a leather jacket or something similar vibe. He's got the collar and like the crucifix earring. Like he looks very edgy and tough. But like I like how you can kind of tell that he's like a soft boy. I think it might be it's either the eyes, just like the shape of them feels very like gentle and soft because they're kind of downturned at the edges. And I think it's also his color palette, like the bright pinks and oranges and stuff, make him feel like a bit more of like a softie. But I think the overall direction, I think you're giving off the good vibes. I think the shape language could be pushed a little bit more. Because like I can see like some triangle type shapes or these like sharp pointy shapes in like his jacket and his hair and his beard. I think it could be pushed more. Because I just don't feel like the shapes quite match up.
Push it
Push it real good.
off a cliff.
Push him off the cliff.
throw your sketchbooks
He'll come back
into
as
the Grand Canyon.
But yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. It's the good direction. I think you can just like push it more, you know?
When
Yeah, no.
someone's trying to get a power cord, throw yourself off the Grand Canyon.
No!
Push it. Let's do PK.
PK?
PK's here. How many did PK submit? 2?
2.
Okay, so 10 minutes each.
Okay.
Yes, off the cliff. Understood. Good, good.
Good.
I'm currently trying to draw a trombone, but for some reason my brain short-circuited and I was Googling refs, but instead of trombone I wrote transbones. Can bones be trans? Okay.
I'm not
Let
dead.
us go.
Okay. Style experiment, also potential
Start.
print. Mostly wondering about composition and the overall cohesiveness of the style. Oh no. Throws it off to the side.
Off the cliff.
Off the cliff.
Don't throw, push.
So, I love the colors. They're very cute. They're very harmonious. I like the balance of like the purples and the pinks and the oranges.
It's a lot less dark than it has been in the past.
Yeah, like I like the brightness and like lightness to everything. You've got some good contrast going between the different parts of the character. So for example, like her hair is bright and then she's got like the dark like sailor scout cowl thing. I don't know what to call that. And then light shirt and then dark skirt, obviously. I think there's one tiny little contrast issue right here with her sleeve and the skirt and the handle of the knife, where I think you need to add a little lightness in here just to like make sure you can differentiate them because they do blend in a little bit.
What do you mean? You can use a knife for jam?
Yeah.
For jelly, especially.
Yeah, exactly. You got the knife and the little jar and you're scooping it out.
Oh.
And you spread it.
Oh wait, it's like a stabbing. Okay, sorry. I'm not part of this. Leave me alone.
Don't you ever use just like a vegetable chopping knife to spread your jelly on your toast?
Yeah, that's called I haven't done the dishes.
That's such a mood.
Okay, back to critiquing.
Yeah, so there's one tiny little contrast issue there that you might want to just add a little highlight or something in there to help with that. I find as well, the composition is a little bit halved.
June is such a smelly butthole. Oh wait, he's back. Or they're back. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
I'm helping.
We interrupt this critique. Okay, so you have 2 focal points within this. So one is her face, which is at a very good point in the canvas, because if I divide it up into like the rule of thirds, like her face is like right at like one of the crosshairs on there. That's a really good place to put it. Whereas I find the knife reveal is like right in the middle of the canvas, which means all of your weight is just like on this half of the composition. So there's not really much going on over here. Like there are elements in it, like her wing and like the ribbons and the skirt and stuff and some of the background elements. Like one thing I do like about the background is that it does bring you back around over here towards like the focal points with the knife and the face. But I think just the placement of like the knife is really easy to miss. Because like when I was first looking at it, I didn't notice it at all. The very first time when I was setting up this document, I was like, oh, it's like a cute angel girl. And then like the next time I opened it, I was like, oh wait, she's holding a knife. Okay. Whereas like I feel like like, I think it's fine if it's like they start with the face because that's like the brightest point, and then slowly you're like, oh no, she's got a knife. But I think it blends in a little bit too much, and it could be that contrasting issue, but I think it's also the placement of it. And I think honestly, if you just move things over a little bit and messed around with the placement or the cut of the canvas, it could really help.
But the knife is a revelation. That was not. That was on purpose.
Okay. I still think it's a little halved. Like if because like the knife being a reveal is like totally fine. But I still think you've got a lot happening on just one half of the canvas, and I think you need to bring in a little more interest on the other side. What do you think, Bones?
Yeah, I think you can still get the story you're going for, where it's kind of like hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta pull it along a little bit.
Needs to be pushed a bit more, you know?
Off a cliff.
Yes.
But she has wings, so we're screwed.
No! She's unstoppable!
Do you have any other questions about this one? Because you got like 4 minutes left on the clock.
True. It's super cute. Like, I love the face. She looks hella adorable. But also,
My
she kills.
low-key goal is someone to buy this print and then go home and be like, oh no.
They're like buying it for their kid, and they're like, oh no.
I'm a little confused about how the arms work.
Hmm.
Because I feel like they're on the same plane as the wing. Like, it feels like the shoulder and... It feels like the wing and shoulder connect at the same point. Like... Sorry, I was too busy with the perspective book. It feels like they overlap. Does that make sense? Like, if you were to see, like, it as, like, a 3D model, they'd be clipping.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a foreshortening issue. Where... I'm not sure, actually. I'd be curious to see, like, the underdrawing to see what's happening. Because, like, here's the shoulder.
I am a lay person. I do not understand things.
Like, her one wing is here.
It's like when you buy a print and realize once you have it, it's smutty. Is that like the Cuphead thing you sent me?
I think... I think it's just a foreshortening issue where I think her wing, like, it would be here.
This is a total nitpick, by the way.
Yeah, this is a huge nitpick. I think we're the only people who would ever care. But I can see, like, why it's moved over here so it doesn't block her face.
The Cuphead thing is burned into my mind. It doesn't matter if it was meant for me or not. June sent me Cuphead smut.
Ah.
Yeah.
What the heck, June?
Thank you.
But yeah, it does look a little bit like her wing on this side is, like, stuck to her arm a little bit. But I don't think anyone will notice.
This was months ago. Yeah, we still remember it.
I can't believe you've done this. This is a nitpick Bones Nurse every time they critique my art. It's because
Except some of your compositions.
You've got...
Wow, that was rude. Sorry.
Bones is sassy today. I'm sorry, everyone.
I wasn't... yeah. Well, PK's working on composition anyways.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone has really good art. And when I'm
Pick
nitpicking...
all the nits.
When I'm nitpicking, I'm nitpicking. That's all.
I'm dangerous today.
Yeah.
I thought you were the dangerous one.
No.
Maybe it is me. I'm just raring to go. I'm ready to fight.
It's like the end of
working on
Libra season, so he's here to fight.
Nitpippin.
Nitpippin.
Night piping. Wait.
Okay.
Whisker ports.
Whisker forts. That's what they are in my head. It's if you were building like a cat, you'd put the little whiskers in there.
The whiskers actually come out of there.
No, they go in. They're detachable.
I see. Knock, knock.
Who dare?
Sorry.
No one.
This was a poorly
Spooky.
formulated joke.
Art critique turned into Fight Club real quick. Okay. But yeah, overall, this is really cute. Good colors. Needs a little pushed composition. That's about it. I'm curious and scared at the same time. I'm sorry. Okay, should we move on to the next one? I guess we should.
It started. Now, go.
Okay, based on how the streams have been set up, I don't think I can display an animated version, so here's the best frame. Oh, okay, so it's part of an animation. Fan art, and also another style test, nothing in particular, I'm curious.
It's so cute.
It is really cute.
It's like a thing, right?
Yeah, it's
Like
a
a fan thing.
fan art thing.
Who's the pig boy? What's he from?
I don't know.
I keep seeing him on my Twitter deck. What are those called? Dashboards?
Dashboard.
Ah.
But yeah.
Imagine if you're driving a car and on your windshield, like, it's just Twitter going by. Sorry, keep going.
I think there's some small contrast issues going on here.
Issues.
The
In
one
contrast.
I'm noticing is like right here where her sleeve blends into her hair. And all up in here is lots of values that are like very similar just because it's like all browns. Where I think the contrast needs to be pushed a little bit. Like maybe, like it's hard because I know you're working with like a character design that's made by someone else. But maybe pushing like the shadows a bit darker on her hair so you can see like her shirt sleeve showing up more. Or darkening the lines, for example. Or adding in more highlights, like especially on his pants here, because I find like the pant leg is blending in with
Okay,
like...
I read that as Kitsune no Yabba
Oh yeah, but demon. Very good.
I can't pronounce anything.
Pushed off a cliff, exactly. Gotta push your contrast. But yeah,
Off a cliff.
but but it is also animated. I don't know how much of it is animated. So some of these things could be obviously fixed by just having movement, and then it's easy to tell things apart. But I always advise heightening your contrast because it always just helps tell things apart a little bit easier.
Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer.
Bones pronounces things. 2019.
If you were lemmings, this would be easier. That's a lie. Lemmings don't do that. Lemons bury themselves in the snow.
They'll start lemons.
When there's no snow, the lemons die.
She head patting him and that's it. Okay, so that's the only animated bit. Okay, so then I definitely recommend adding some highlights or lightening up his pants a little bit so you can see what's going on in there. The contrast is a lot better on the pig boy. I'm sorry, I don't know their names.
Pig boy.
Pig boy. His pants, again, they get a little bit dark, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on in here. But the silhouette's good, so you can see like his different limbs. Nothing's like overlapping in a weird way that you can't tell things apart. His name's Gordon Ramsay. Okay. Is this what you're telling me, PK?
The pig boy is named Gordon Ramsay.
Okay, so Gordon Ramsay here. Yeah, because I find when you get into like lighter colors, like so like his skin and like the fur on the face and stuff.
It's because the
and-
line art is differentiating it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you've got good dark line art surrounding this lighter stuff, whereas when you get into your darker stuff, it just kind of blends together.
Inosuke. Did I do it?
Sure.
I know Satsuke.
Big boy equals Gordon Ramsay. Exactly. But yeah.
This pork is rotten.
But yeah, I think you need to work on making
You're
sure
going to kill what? Sorry.
Inosuke.
I know skays.
Yeah, so I think you might want to try out either like lightening or darkening your shadows, or maybe using like lighter line art on sections that are very dark, just to help differentiate things, and just play around with it and see what you like. Yeah, it's very cute.
I'm heavily phobic of pigs. Pig.
Oh yeah, the expressions are very cute. There's a lot of character being expressed. I like the little toes.
Same.
The toes are really cute. The little peeps.
Style is cute.
Yeah, I like the proportions of everything. Like it's very adorable.
Cancel bones. Cancel bones. Cancel bones. No more bones. Only cartilage. Hello, I am Bones' replacement, Cartilage McKay.
Oh god. It's like your cousin.
I'm a shark.
Just Bones, but he has a shark head.
No, it's just a shark.
Charlie, what are you sending my husband?
They're saying that I'm wasted. JK, I'm on caffeine.
Shark McKay. But yeah, do you have any questions, PK? Is there anything we're missing that you wanted us to talk about? Oh, I also really like the highlights on this, especially right here on his little pig ears. Like, it just gives a lot of shape to what's going on right here. I think you need to do more of that throughout. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
What about Exoskeleton McKay? Who's that? That's when Bones turns into a speeder.
Actually, that'd be the McCainiverse. The Grainiverse is something else. It's just different shades of Ursula. 50 Shades of Ursula! Ah!
No.
Yes!
No.
It's just 50 of you, and you're all slightly different shades of gray.
I was going to say it's like a parody of 50 Shades with me and Shark McKay.
Okay, move on. Next
I
one.
am. 50 Shades of Ursula. Just a little black or a little white and 48 others.
I have to go.
You're going?
To the washroom.
Oh, okay.
So pick up things so I can start your time.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let's look at Hex's stuff.
Okay. Starting. How many did they do? 2 or 3?
3.
Okay. So 7 minutes on the clock starting now.
Okay. So, let's see. Okay. First on some doodles for recent AU, going to a cafe/cat cafe direction, including air, they, them.
How many alternate universes are there?
There's as many alternate universes as you want, Bones.
There's turtles all the way down.
It's nothing but turtles. They're doing a meme. Silas, one outfit for another page that was cat themed, but had to give in on my impulse and draw him like that. Little doodle is cat void is the gremlin. Oh, his cat named Void is the gremlin. You mean a gremulkin? And very proud about spilling a very hot drink on his shirt. Okay. You know, like, yeah, I love that meme. It's such a good meme. Ba, 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 ba. I like the energy in your sketches. They're very like they don't feel stiff. Like they've got lots of like movement going on. Sorry, I'm just like saying the same thing over and over again. um ba, 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 ba. But yeah, you've got good forms as usual. Like your characters have very different like body types. Um, like I like how everything about them is very like round and fluffy. Like their hair looks fluffy, and like their eyes are round, and their nose is round even, and their cheeks, and you know, portions of their design like the lace on their shirt and like the bow on their neck. Like it feels very cohesive. Um, I do like with Silas here. Um, his jaw feels a lot like his face feels a lot more structured than I think I've seen in some of like the past sketches you've sent us. Um, where it feels like I've been noticing that about like a lot of the stuff you've been sending in Hex is like it's been getting a lot more structured, which is really nice. Like things feel very solid and real. And it's just getting better and better. I find with this particular sketch of Silas, his head and his hands feel a little bit big compared to like the rest of his body, which feels a little too small compared to those. So I think you just need to shrink the head down, shrink the hands down a little bit. If that's what you're going for, honestly. If you like having like the big head and hands, don't listen to me. It's fine.
Never listen to her.
Don't listen to me.
Sorry, I had to save that isopod. It was still stuck.
Oh, poor
It
isopod.
was in the cup.
I just pronounced AUs as ors.
Oh, he's already burying himself. Keep going, Ursula.
But yeah, very structured. It looks cute. Bones is filling the lizard water right now.
Watch out, Al, it's gonna rain. It rains on this little head.
Like I know it's just doodles. I think with character interaction, you could push the expression and actions more, but again, I figure this is just a doodle, so you don't really need lots of super critiques on it. Like his like taking the shirt off and stuff could be like pushed more to be more comedic, like and I do like the cat's sassy expression. Meow. But yeah, but that's just if you want to, you know. We've got 2 minutes left. Do you have any questions or anything like you wanted me to look at, Hex?
Do you want Bones to say something?
Do you want Bones' opinion? YN.
Wine. That's my opinion. It's 12 and I have work to do. Have a good rest of the stream. Thanks for stopping by. You want my opinion? One sec, I have to look at it. I didn't see it, so it's probably going to just be like a rehash of what Ursula said. Wait, where is it?
It's that first one there.
Ah.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Good critique. Who should I eat off a cliff?
Silas.
Yes.
Yeet them all off a cliff.
The lesson of this stream is yeet everyone off the cliff.
Eat the cliff.
Eat it.
Sorry, I have no opinions.
Thanks, folks. Very helpful.
Today is the day in which Bones had no opinions whatsoever.
I've done that before.
He had wings though. Oh, get rid of
Aw.
those. Throw the wings in the trash and push them down the mountain.
My God.
Why didn't I submit the macro art?
Marco.
Marco. Oh, Polo.
Stop. Dehydrate, don't hydrate.
Can we move on? Let's move to the next.
Okay, let's move on. Second page is a new OC. His name is Candle, and he's a stupid idiot man, Supreme Himbo. I love him. Okay. He's cute. He's got a cute smile.
Fado's a himbo.
Oh my god, he's such a himbo. Whoa. Too much zoom. Too much zoom. Okay. There we go. Okay. No zooming, I guess. I like, again, you've got a good way with form and like pushing different body types. So I like how he's a lot more broad than say Silas. Like his face is broader. He's got like a broad chin, big shoulders, thicker arms. I like how you've modeled the muscles, like especially like right here. This is the little. I'm not on the right layer. I'm not on the right layer. What am I hearing? Oh, it's Fatal playing. But yeah, but I like how you've modeled the muscles really nicely. And you've done like a good job implying the form here a lot instead of like drawing every single little detail of them. They feel very structured and 3D. Again, the head and hands are a little bit big compared to the shoulders. But overall, like, the characters' like shape language is really nice. It's very different than other characters you've drawn. I like the expressions. They feel very they've been pushed a lot, which is really nice. I like his cute little smile here. It's 10 out of 10, really cute. I like his smile here. I like how his eyes like push up like that because he's smiling. Because it does imply that, like, you know how like your cheeks go up when you smile. You could push it a little bit and show more of like a swell in his cheeks with things moving up. But it's fine if you want to keep it like subtle, just to keep like his face shape more consistent. But it's up to you. You can play around and push the expression more that way. What are himbos? A himbo is a male bimbo. Yeah, it's like a dumb pretty boy type. Stop just watching memes.
Keep going. Just let you got this. Sorry, my brother just sounded to me.
It's just like an obese cat.
He's trying to roll over.
Oh, baby. He's a good cat. Oh, you can do it. Okay, we're not gonna watch things that the stream can't see.
Keep going, Ursula. I can do whatever I want.
Oh my god, I've been abandoned. I think you could push the contrast between like his hair color and his skin color a little bit more, like darkening either one. Maybe not the, if you're gonna darken the skin, maybe darken the hair as well, so you're not just like bringing the values down low, but they don't have high contrast. I like the little pops of like greeny blue on him, like on the earrings and in the eyes and stuff. Like I like the kind of hazel eye look. That's really pretty. But yeah, but definitely just push the hair color maybe a bit darker. for example, just so that there's good contrast between his hair and his skin. Yeah, overall, really cute. I like it. It's looking good. Again, your structure is really nice. Is there anything you have to say, Bones?
Contrast.
Contrast! Hell yeah! Do you have any questions,
Comments, concerns.
concerns, arguments? I don't know.
Ursula, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah. I've noticed that this one was a little brighter, a little out of the gray zone.
Oh yeah, that is true. It's a lot less desaturated,
Yeah.
which is really nice.
It's still like a little bit desaturated, but you're definitely in the more direction of saturation,
Yeah.
which I'm proud of.
Push everything. Exactly.
Yeah, you pushed it out of the desaturation zone.
Yeah. Blink twice if you need help or something.
You can't see her. Wait, if you're in our basement, I guess you can. Just gonna lock the basement door and you can't get out.
Yeah.
Knock,
Just barricade it. She's just blinking, but we'll never see it. I'm like, please, someone. Blink, blink, blink.
Hey June, am I looking at the basement right now?
Lear will release me.
Lyra doesn't know how to open the basement.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Okay. What did you do? Just cancel.
Pardon me.
Okay. It begins.
Third is a sketch page with Silas again, some roommate verse stuff. Also me BSing whatever a floofy puppy looks like and not even attempting to bring Gremlin Lady Void into any presentable form. I love the dog. He's a good dog.
Fado, you're a good dog.
He's a good fluffy dog.
Fado, come here.
Oh. Oh.
Fado bonked his head on the microphone.
Oh, baby. His heart being playable. That's so gross. Just don't lemon to the mic.
Some lemophone.
Stop.
Bonk. Hey, Fado. Yeah. Is the profile's still a little bit flat?
Yeah.
Because I remember having issue with that in the last one with the kissing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely feels a bit like his face has been smushed. I know it's hard because I know you're going for like a character with like a really like long, lean face. And like he does have like a hooked nose and stuff. Because yeah, I think it's just the lips and nose area feels a little smushed in because you've got like a good thin going up like here. Like this feels fine in like comparison to like the rest of the head. It might be that your eye is going way too far back.
Yeah.
So that he's missing like the side of his face. Like this feels really squished in. And then in proportion with that, like the nose and mouth and chin are just like really elongated. So you may need to work on, instead of pushing it, maybe like reeling it back in a little bit. Working on
Whoa.
I know. Like
No push this time.
just
Throw.
I'd recommend just doing some studies of people in profile, especially looking for models that have like a similar face to Silas, just to see like what the structure actually looks like and just kind of trace like where the shadows and highlights are.
Everyone's pushing everything off a cliff and Hex is just standing there like, what?
What?
No push?
What? Yeah, because that can really help you if you kind of like look at the planes of the face and kind of study.
Wait, there's planes on the face?
On the face.
Like aeroplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's aeroplanes on
The face is made up of airplanes. Hydroplane. What you umming about?
Just thinking.
What you thinking?
Yeah.
Kiss the cook.
So I like the hair here. It's got a lot of structure to it.
Oh yeah, it does.
I think the neck feels a little detached. And I think you again might need to just study how necks like look when they're like turned, and how they attach to like a face and profile. Because I think it's just because his face feels a bit smushed, but like the neck just doesn't feel like joined onto it quite. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure, but something feels a little bit off to me. But I do like the hair and the scalp and stuff. You've just modeled the hair really well, and I really like it. And I think his shoulder here feels a little detached as well. Like here it feels fine. Like the neck might be a bit long, but here it feels fine. But here it dips down when it's more like to match the other shoulder. It'd be more like a convex shape instead of a concave one. I like the structure of him here and his little apron and stuff. Again, things feel like really solid, like especially like in the chest area and on the legs, which I've said through this whole thing. You're doing really well.
Is that it?
Pretty much. I like the space you've implied with like the placement of the animals and the roommate and stuff. But yeah, overall, looking really good.
It's good, guys.
Really structured and nice. Hell yeah. Do you have any questions?
I do. Do you ever wonder like what Fado thinks we're doing right now? Like whenever we live stream, like what our dogs think we're doing? Because like Fado's just staring at you talking. Like what is that about me?
He just yawned into the mic.
And then sniffed it. He's just like,
hi, Fado. It's like whenever I'm on the telephone and Matica starts barking at me because she thinks I'm talking to her.
Yes.
And I'm like, can you not? And she's like, bark, 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 bark. Yeah, that's all. It's looking good. Fado is boomer. She's like, what's a live stream?
What's Twitch?
Is that like TV?
Oh, you have a television show? What channel is it on? Bop, 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 bop.
I'll kiss you.
Yeah.
Okay.
On to the next one. Who is the next victim?
So we have. Let's do Ren, because I'm not sure. Oh, wait, no, Nice is here. What am I talking about? We've been talking to Nice.
Nice. Noise. I have to open it up and look at it. Sorry, Vero, it's okay. I'll be back. What do we... Screams in solidarity.
Thank you.
10 minutes.
I don't know what we're screaming about, but we're screaming.
10 minutes each.
Okay.
Start it. Just gotta hit the bottom.
I always forget about the little bottom timer. Okay.
I know, you always tell Siri to do it.
She helping me out. Okay. Here are my submissions for this month. I haven't added any dialogue on this page because I just finished it, but I would mostly like your thoughts on the color, perspective, and panel layout, as I had some trouble with all those areas. So color, perspective, and panels. Okay.
Step 1, color. Opinions, Ursula.
Color, I think the colors are
Nice.
they're good. I find the middle panel, like this big one here. Whoop! Oh, goodbye.
This big empty space
Ah!
right here.
I'm sorry, my file is lagging. I find the middle panel here. I think it could use more contrast or mood to it. Admittedly, I don't know if there's like dialogue or captions going in here, so it could feel very different with the words. But it feels for like, because to me it looks like he's being very pensive. He's like thinking something through. He looks very troubled in the last panel here and in the first one. But this feels like,
Wow, Fado, pay attention.
it feels like a comedic shot, just because it's very well lit. It looks like he's got like a cute little dot eye, like he's like, bleh, you know, like silly little anime boop-a-doop.
The technical term.
Yes.
Fado, stop hitting your head on the microphone.
Whereas, like, it depends on what your intention is here, because if that's what you're going for, then hell yeah, you did it. Good job. But yeah, because it either feels like it's comedic, it feels a little neutral, whereas if you were going for something a bit more, like, pensive or thoughtful, you might want to heighten the contrast of the shadows, maybe add some more kind of, like, dark colors in there. But otherwise the colors feel good. Like I like the light from the door hitting him. It adds like just a little bit more contrast. He's more rendered in shadow here. So it adds a bit more
interest.
Yeah.
Cough, cough. What's the next thing? Well, on the list.
Panel layout. Wait, what is it? Perspective and panel layout. Okay. The perspective I really like. It's really well done in this middle panel here. I really like how you've kind of the 3D.
Oh, Jesus Louise. Fado, it's a squirrel.
Fado, that scared me so
Oh my god.
much.
Fado. Okay, I'll go get him.
Okay.
Jesus.
Good lord, Fado. Okay. Oh my god, my heart leapt into my throat. Okay. Okay. I really like how you have created the panel. What? Oh. Is there something bad going on?
Critique. I have a show to watch.
Okay.
Tell you how it turns out.
Okay. So I like how you have created the outline of this panel using the 3D outline of this room. It definitely creates this kind of like full feeling to the room. It's very interesting. Like it, I think it really adds to that kind of like thoughtful feeling, for this panel. Just the angle it's on and everything, it feels like it's coming out at you. Ursula do the job for Critiques and Bones, a dog sitter. Pretty much. But yeah, but like everything looks like it's pretty much on model 3D wise. I find all of your work has a very like 3D feeling to it. We'll just let Fado into the backyard to bark. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, but your work has a very like 3D feeling to it, and I think you do a really good job with your perspective and making everything feel very voluminous. Like it has volume and shape and stuff. Um, I feel like you could do something more with these walls here. Like these big swaths of just like light blue. They feel very... Also, Bones just left. He just went out the back door. I don't know where he's going. Bones needs to get off the booze. But yeah, they feel... I don't know if adding something to them would be too distracting from the meat of this panel, which is like the guy and like the board he's looking at and the details of the room. But they do feel a little... They pull a lot of attention because they're very bright. Though it is kind of balanced with the rug here. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to see how it would look if you added things. And I don't know if that's maybe like pictures on the wall or shadows. But it feels a little barren and it could be doing more. I'm not sure. I'd have to see it with dialogue to be able to tell you more. But yeah, but the perspective's great. I do also like how the door kind of opens opens into the gutter. It's a very cool panel choice. That makes her feel like she's kind of bursting in on things a little bit.
I had to pet a cat.
You had to pet a cat. There was a cat outside.
Yeah, there's a cat in the bushes.
Oh, it's a good cat.
They're hunting stuff.
Oh, so that's what Fado was barking at.
Yeah.
Oh.
They were chasing a squirrel up a tree.
Oh, okay.
I got him to come over and give a pet. Hello. Sorry. I don't know how much you heard of that.
I was thinking about adding a window there at first, but it's a lot of work. I was thinking of adding gradients. Yeah, that could help a lot with just bringing in more shadow or something. Since the window's here, maybe having more shadow like here, so you can maybe like highlight the focus a bit more using it. But you can play around with that. I also like the panel shape here. It follows the light of the door coming in, kind of. I don't know. It's cool. You're doing some cool stuff with panel shape here that I really like. There's good flow through all this, just with your panel compositions. Like his pencil points down here, and then you're kind of led through the room, and you're led back down just with the leading lines of everything. So like all the perspective is pointing down this way, and lots of items are pointing you toward the next panel to look at. Her hand kind of... It's her hand and the speech bubble that are bringing you over to the next one, and then this one's just got a good like panning from him to her.
Is Fado what Bones? What's wrong? Is Fado okay? I have to pet a cat. I'm sorry. I had to pet the cat. It's like a little black and white cat.
Oh, it's a good cat.
I hate that there's cats outside.
Agreed.
Because they keep pooping in our yard.
So
and
annoying.
Our dogs eat the poop. I love it.
Cats are great.
Oh, we did it.
I did it. Timer went off.
Good job.
Okay, so let's do the next bit.
Heck
And
yeah.
let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Here are some character explanations for an upcoming mini comic, heavily inspired by the illustration I submitted last month, which was of like the robot detective looking guy and the dead guy on the table.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not really happy with any of these since I don't feel like the designs capture his character. How can I push the designs to be more goofy, silly without making him feel like a joke character or a child? Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at the good boy. Okay. Name, not sure. City's best detective, takes his job serious, but is very goofy and playful. Likes to smoke, quote unquote, cigarettes since he doesn't have anything better to spend his money on. Like food, eating, and medical bills. Amazing. Okay, so he's goofy, but he's good at his job. And he's serious. Okay. So these designs all have a lot going for them.
A lot going for them.
Going for them. Okay. So I find this first one is very cutesy because he's got like the rose in his hat and the little stitched heart on his shirt pocket. Please help me with a name, everyone, please. Okay, everyone in the chat, help Nice figure out a name.
Detective Jeff Ping.
Jeff Ping. Yes. Okay, so this first one feels very cutesy. It feels very... What's the word I'm looking for? He seems very haughty in that one. Like he knows...
Hot and gay.
Yeah. But very like,
Smug.
Smug, that's it. Like he's kind of like talking down to someone.
Seems like a young upstart.
Yeah, it reminds me of like he works at a newspaper.
Yeah.
Or it's his first day on like the detective beat. And
yeah, he doesn't quite look detective to me, honestly.
Yeah, he looks more like a fresh reporter who's like gonna find the hot scoop or whatever. I can make Ping his middle name so it's canon, but no one needs to ever say it. Bless.
I'm just gonna call him Ping every time I see him
Ping.
now,
though. You should make his initials be PNG. So people call him Ping.
Yeah.
Anyways,
the next one looks like a hipster.
Yeah, it feels very like casual. It doesn't feel as professional of a fashion choice.
Has some femme fatale vibes.
Yeah, I think that might be due to the pose.
Yeah.
With like the cigarette and like the having their head down and looking up type deal. I love the hat. I love the little triangle pointy hat on all these. It's so good.
Nicholas X Gatsby.
Nicholas S. Gatsby. X. Oh, that's cute.
Because they should kiss. Get it?
Oh. Oh my god. I thought it was X because it's like futuristic sounding.
No. It's my fan fiction.
Okay, so then I think part of it what's making this feel very casual is like the really short jacket, as well as like the rolled back sleeve and stuff, and the short pants. It feels very, very casual, maybe not as like a professional look. The next one, I'd be curious how the middle one would look with like a longer coat. This one feels very zany and clumsy to me. Like, not the design is clumsy, but that he's like a clumsy character.
The middle one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Gumshoe from... He's got like Gumshoe energy from Phoenix Wright.
Yeah. Where he's like kind of silly and trying his best. Like, he doesn't feel super like competent feeling. Though it might be like he doesn't look competent, but he is. It's up to you. The next one reminds me of a bartender.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. I think it's just the outfit really screams like bartender at a saloon or bartender in the 20s or something. And I think it's just the vest bow tie mix. Um, the final one feels the most detective to me. And I like how I like the straight line to him because that feels very clean cut and competent to me. Like it feels like the most professional. I like his expression there because it does kind of scream like he's kind of fun and energetic. But I do like the presentation of the clothing. It feels a lot more professional and like he's well established in his job and feels confident. And yeah. So I think that one would be my choice for the character you described in your notes. I think you could try messing around because like the shape of his like his face and his body is very like rigid and kind of square and boxy, which is like that kind of straight line confident feeling to it. You could try maybe adding in the roundness like from this middle one here to make him feel a bit more like playful, where like his clothes could say like I'm a cool professional and his body could say like I'm a funny guy, a funny playful guy.
I'd worry about losing. Just about if you stick with this design, I'd worry about losing the legs in the coat a bit.
Oh, true. You might want to brighten those up
or something. I don't know.
Very true.
Depends on how you work with it, though.
Yeah.
And how it moves. Whoa.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think if you're gonna keep the coat this dark, you might want to brighten up everything underneath it, because it does take up a lot of like real estate on him. Personally, I like the color balance of the first one, though they are missing a coat, which really kind of changes the balance of things. But I like the lightness of the palette for that.
What if he had his coat, but he like over his shoulder?
Oh, that'd be cool. That does scream confidence. And like a workaholic. I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on it, Bones? Any recommendations?
I have no thoughts in my head. I'm a thought.
Are you a himbo?
I'm a thought without thought.
One of my coworkers, her mom found out what a thought is and was like, and has like fallen in love with that word.
Oh
So they'll just be walking by and she's like, oh my god, look at that thought. And my coworker's like, Mom, stop.
Remember when you thought your coworker was being robbed, but it was just their mom?
Oh yeah, did I tell that on the stream?
I don't know.
I don't know. My coworker, like, I was in my car getting ready to go home, and I saw someone walk up to our accountant at work. Someone walked up to her car and opened the passenger side door, and the alarm went off. And then quickly closed it and like ran over to a van that she had idling and started to drive away. And the accountant came out of the building and like tapped on her window to like get her attention and like try to stop her, but the woman drove away in her van. And so I was like, I got out and I was like, oh my god, did you just get robbed? Like, did she break into your car? And she was like, oh no, that was my mom. She just left me something in my car and didn't notice that I was trying to get her attention. And I was like, oh, thank god. Oh, out of time. But if you do have any questions, nice, let us know.
Yeah, we spent half of that talking about other crap.
We did go on tangents. But yeah, I think you can mesh a lot of these design pieces into something that might feel a bit better. It's really hard. I'd recommend continuing to do like iterations on it. Like redoing different bits and just keep building up till you have something you really like.
Yeah, I think you gotta keep the detective coat though.
Yeah, having
Like-
that long trench coat, like the duster type,
That just screams detective like right away.
totally. And I find this design matches this hat very well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to the next one. For
Okay.
the meantime.
So the next one is one from Ren. I don't have any questions. It was super helpful. I want to go sketch now. Nice.
Nice, nice.
Nice. Okay.
The stream is wild. I'm sorry.
Oof.
It's all my fault. I'm just not good enough.
Oh my god. We're just having a weird low self-esteem day. Anyways. Sorry that I keep reposting these. I thought it would be easier. Oh, I should set the 20-minute timer because I have the one.
Animals, art and artists, arts and crafts, biographies, Canadian, biography. I'm just filling up this void.
Okay.
Biographies,
Well, the timer's
International.
set. Shh.
business and economics.
Okay. Thought it'd be easier on both of us to label the panels just in case we need to make a comment about one in particular. First page has revisions from the last. The second one is rougher. Both of the pages have notes on them. Common problems I see are close-up shots being too close. I have a habit of pulling the frame too close to the character. Continuity issues between panels. Is it boring? Am I moving the scene too slow? Are there any panels that are unnecessary? I find myself worrying that I'm breaking down movements too much. The angles are all flat and boring. Maybe more 2D stage is better because the target audience is probably younger people. I still feel like I could be pushing myself more.
Get it done.
Get it done!
No time for self-doubt.
General, let me know what you think. If anything is confusing, let me know. It's important that the story is clear, though I'd love to hear your thoughts on what's going on. Okay, so let's read through it, give our impressions, and then get more nitty-gritty. Okay, so page 1. I like that moon.
It's cute moon.
It's real cute. I like the 3D feeling of it. I like the colors so far. So the stars falling. Oh, I love the faces in the clouds. That's so cool. Oh, the clouds eat the star. Oh, and I like how you can kind of see it through the clouds still. That's really cool. And they're all happy. Da, da, da. You can see the little glow of the star going down. Star's falling. Oh, it's trying to come back up. So the cloud spits it out. It's a person. They fall in. They land on more cloud. They leave me. Pose shift. Oh, I see. So they sit up a bit. They look up. And they go back to sleep. Whoa. That above shot of them sitting on the cloud. You can see that's really pretty. All the stars and stuff in the back. Cloudy, created by Lauren.
Your face gives me 1938 Disney feels.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Continue to the next page. Okay. Was there more than one? Do you mind checking?
Did you not bring them both out?
Uh-oh. Was there 2?
Yeah.
What? Oh, no, I forgot. Uh-oh. I'm silly.
Ursula's silly. Pass it on. Don't tell Bones, though. He'll make fun of her. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Here we thought Ursula was so great, but in the end, it was Bones who was equally as bad. Ursula is silly. Grapes. Don't tell Bones. Okay, I won't tell him. It's just me, your best friend Cartilage McKay.
Okay. Can look at it here. So there's the bird in the blue sky. More Barb. Clouds. And they're still sitting on their cloud, all sleepy. Oh, that's cute. They drool. They wake up. They're like, Hua? Looking around. Nervous. Looking down. Focus on their hands. They're like, I have hands! What the heck? Trying to stand up. All wobbly. Oh, that's so cute.
I wish I had a tablet so that I could show my comic ideas.
You can also send like traditional sketches and stuff. So they fall because they tripped.
I think they said like Astro Boy is like their
Yeah,
yeah.
their inspiration. Sudden flip. Oh, they got wings. Oh, I see. So it's the wings growing there. Oh, it's their back and then wings. Okay. Okay. So overall, I think it's pretty easy to follow what's going on.
Yeah.
I like the pacing of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's like overly too many little bits, especially because these kind of comics do have more of an animation feel.
Yeah, just because of the way they're presented.
Yeah,
You see one panel at a time.
but you're still leaning into like the qualities of like webtoon style comics, where you do kind of get to control the time at which everything is shown.
Yeah.
Because the way that people scroll is a lot more like animation than when you're looking at like printed comics.
Yep.
Where people see everything at once. Whereas this is more like animation where it's like a determined amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one panel.
I'll let Ursula talk now.
There was one panel that felt a little bit repetitive. Oh no, I can't stop scrolling. My computer's lagging. Could we just... Okay. Here we go.
Love you too, Mom.
I think it's B6 and B7. It feels a little bit repetitive, where it's a close-up of them looking nervous and then a far away of them looking nervous at their surroundings. It feels a little redundant in B6. But if you take it away and the pacing feels weird, then I'd definitely keep it. That's the only one that really kind of stuck out to me as being a little repetitive, but if you take it away and it feels too quick, then I definitely keep it in because people are going to be scrolling through it really quickly. So that's something to keep in mind pacing wise. So it's up to you if you want to get rid of that. I really like the compositions. They work really well at directing downward. Sorry, pardon me.
Oh no, the yawns begin. We're doomed.
No. Okay, the other thing is this little tripping sequence in B17. I don't think B18 is unnecessary. I really like the like flailing and falling forward bit. It's really cute and very cartoony. And I don't mind having this panel where like the foot catches. I think that works fine. Because it's this build of tension here where it's like you see them starting to trip and then they're like trying to catch themselves and then they fall. And I think that works really well. The one thing is having the foot catch right at the bottom of the panel, like snug up against the very bottom outline of the panel. Um, it creates a weird little illusion where it looks like they're tripping on the panel edge. So that's what you're going for. Go with it. It works. If not, I would recommend kind of moving things up a little bit so you can see the full foot and the foot catching.
Yeah, it's the bird knocking into
Oh, I'm
them.
stupid. I'm sorry. I did not see that. Okay, I think I went right to the foot thing just because it's circled. Where I felt like it was just saying, like, this is the thing. B17 is being hit by a bird. Would it be better to add the bird in a previous panel? No, because you mentioned the birds right at the beginning, like they're there. I don't mind the bird hitting into them. I just didn't see it. I'm sorry. Okay, so never mind. Disregard what I was saying. It works.
It just depends on how it's colored too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I think only Ursula didn't notice it
I think so. So that's just me.
because I noticed it. Just looking through.
Yeah.
Up, 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 up.
Up.
I want a pumpkin.
Want a pumpkin?
Give me a pumpkin. I'm gonna cut that boy. Step.
Stip.
Sorry, I'm not watching memes. It's a shark. Someone upside down being a goofhead. It's me, Cartilage McKay.
I think you've got some good variation on like showing different like levels of like close up and pulled out shots and stuff. I haven't noticed anything that's very distracting or too repetitive. But yeah, I don't think you have to worry about that. Because you're conveying everything that needs to be there, which is the prime goal. And you're doing it well.
Don't chop cats. Go out and pet the cat in your yard.
Yeah.
Up.
Up.
It's coming together really nice.
It is. I love the color and the backgrounds and all the faces and stuff.
Cover your cat in jam. Spread with a knife. Delicious jam. Let them lick it off.
Yeah, it's looking really, really good. It's hella cute.
It might be a bit dark in some parts.
Yeah, you might need to brighten it up. Here
It
and there.
might just be like my angle. So I did some of the cloud things were hard to look at, but it's hard to tell because it's thumbnails
Yeah, like it's
about
not.
what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I just watch out for it.
Make sure that your contrast is nice and high.
I like when cats do the thing where they lift their leg like above their head to lick.
A little leg in the air.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I wish, is that how girls shave?
Basically.
And guys, I guess. Is that how people shave their legs? They
You stick
like
your
throw
legs-
it in the air like cats. It's over. You hook it over the back of your head. And
Yeah,
rest it
and
there.
go. Between A14 and A15, is it okay that the pose isn't the same? 14 and 15. Let's see. 14 and then 15. I think it's fine.
Ursula calls it fine.
Because I think it just like it implies that like they're kind of waking up and then they go back to sleep, so they curl over, and then like once they're in deep sleep, they're like just laid out on their back. Yeah, like it didn't stand out to me as like any weird continuity stuff. It just seemed like time is passing, so they're in a different pose.
Me.
Especially because you get like a good amount of time to like look at the landscape behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see them as you pass by, and you see the rest of the landscape. So it does feel like time is passing, thanks to the pacing. But yeah, it's looking really nice. Like, I'm excited to see this done in full.
Sam.
Any
other questions?
Yeah.
Or should we move on?
Is there anything else you wanted us to pay attention to?
Any Q's? Any A's?
Yeah.
Any questions?
I know, the colors behind the clouds are so pretty.
Heck yeah.
And I love the gradients and stuff. They're so cute.
There's thank yous.
I also don't think it's boring. Like things they're moving at like a good pace, and you get to like spend time like looking at the characters' emotions and stuff, and there's lots of action happening. An example of where it's too dark. I think here, where they're being spat out, it might need a bit more contrast.
It's hard for me to say just because I'm looking at the thing from like this weird angle. Yeah, I think it's just like the cloud was a bit much.
It's a little, yeah, it just needs heightened contrast, like maybe lightening the cloud up a bit or darkening the expression, for example. Stuff like that. Just like, it's really like close, it just needs like a little bit more contrast.
Have you considered collaborating with other artists besides each other? Just pop out in my mind question. Yeah, I've considered. I'm working on something. It's never gonna get done though. Also, I run an anthology right now. I would collab with a whole bunch of people.
Hell yeah.
But I know that's probably not what you mean.
No, we're like writing an art with other people.
Will it be with June? No. Never with June.
Never.
Leave Mark.
So now we have the 2 long forms.
I'm gonna collab with Mark.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna draw. Right.
Okay, so do you want to do the writing one, or do you want to do the last full comic one?
Do the full comic because V wanted to be last.
Oh, you're right. Oh, V's here.
Well, V's last.
Okay.
V said last, so V's going last. Okay. I actually have notes on this.
Perfect.
I can talk about writing when you're done with art.
Okay.
Unless you want me to talk about writing first.
How about you talk about writing first, because my voice kind of hurts.
Oh my god, you've only been talking for 2 hours. Like, chill out. Sorry, one sec. I have to get my notes in front of me. Oh. Hello. I am Bones McKay. Welcome to my story of stories. So, what was this called? Does it have a name?
I don't know if they gave it the...
Who are they?
Gloomy
This is a
Rabbit?
new person.
Gloomy Bunny? Something like that.
Gloomy Buns? Glummy Buns? I'll give myself 10 minutes to talk about writing.
Okay.
And give you 10 minutes to talk about art.
Mossy Rabbit. That's it. Gloomy Bunny.
Gloomy
Mossy
Bunny.
Rabbit. Mossy Rabbit.
Grass Rabbit. Oh my god, I'm scared.
Don't worry, you'll do good.
Hi. I just haven't talked all day. Okay. Darius. Nope, this is not the one I'm supposed to be looking at. So, you had like questions about the writing? So, I read all of the colored pages, and there was like a few that were like thumbnailed, so just so you know, I didn't really read the thumbnailed ones because it was just hard to like pay attention it's hard to figure out for me. Um, for the I'm scared too. Very good. For the good, I'll start with good. I really like your dialogue. It flows really nicely. Like it's very easy to follow what people are saying. Um, and there's lots of character to it. It's snappy, very good. Enjoy the dialogue. I really like your first page with the sort of theme implications with like the vulture and then them being vultures, and then I realized it was a little more literal. But I still enjoy it very much. Um, I I also found that you were really good at characterization as far as your characters go. They were really, as far as personalities go, they were really easy to tell apart. Um, and I really liked that there was like the prologue that happened that was really short and snappy. Like it had a good arc to it. I liked when the monster showed up and well, like the monster form showed up. I thought that was really like um it was heckin' rad because it happened and I was like, oh damn, this is cool. And then it ended, which was nice. It ended at a nice point. I found your scenes were very coherent in that way. They had a nice arc to them, and they didn't kind of drag on. Because you said you were like worried about things being rambly and going on forever. I didn't find that at all, honestly. Um, I found everything was like nicely put together as far as that goes. Um, and oh right, about the prologue, I liked that it came back really quick. I don't really like it when you get like this little short prologue and then you have no idea how it contributes at all. It was tied in very quickly, and that was really nice. Um, it wasn't just like, oh, this flashy thing, and now suddenly everything is boring. There was like lots going on. Um, as far as the bad goes, I don't think you have any really big scripting problems that I can point out right away in any way. I think your scripts is really solid. I do find the visual telling is where I think things trip up a bit more. Your characters had really good, strong personalities, but there was something about them that maybe like Ursula can describe better in like her breakdown of things. But there was something about the character designs that made it hard to tell who was with who. I couldn't really tell who was like on what team because there's like the scavenger team, and then there's the three people who are like kind of the main character squad, and then in the initial prologue, I had to read over it like two or three times in order to find out like who was on what side. And I also found it difficult to follow where people were in relation to one another, and like where they were in the setting and who was talking. Um, but on a script level, once I kind of got, once I really thought about it, it was easy to follow. The script was good. Um, And another like art thing that made it difficult for reading with me is the leading on your bubbles is pretty tight, and so is the padding. Padding being the space between the actual circle of the bubble and the text, and leading being the space between the lines. I found that pretty difficult. But all in all, I really liked the story. I'm very interested about like where things are going. Like there's a really strong hook with like the brother. Um, the characters are cute, enjoyable. Do not remake all of these pages. I swear. No matter what we tell you today, do not go back and remake all of these pages. It's perfectly fine. It's like even if we bring up all these like confusing parts to us, it's totally readable. It's got really good dialogue. It's got good characters. If you bring it together later, that's perfectly fine. It's a web comic or whatever. Maybe I don't know what it is actually. If it's a web comic, who cares? If it isn't a webcomic, fix it later in the future when you're super better. But just keep going through. Don't be that person that you're worried about becoming. Okay, don't do it, my friend. Okay, that's all I have to say. Unless you have any questions about the writing
Yeah.
from me.
Yeah. Yeah, from the visual side, there's this, I don't know how to describe it. I think it's your color choices and a lot of the texture and stuff where this comic feels kind of like it reminds me a little bit of like what you think of like old comics, so like comics from like the 60s and stuff. Like it just has this feeling of kind of like
Being colorized.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the color choices and a lot of the panel layouts that make it feel that way, and the your use of lots of like black fills and stuff with colors on top. I really like it. It looks really cool, and it's got a very unique vibe to it that I really enjoy.
I'd love to see more pushing of the black fill because I think some of your strongest pages are like the first two.
Yeah, like these first few ones where there's like big use of like black fills and shadows. It goes a long way, and it adds a lot of like shape and volume to things, I find, and a lot of visual interest.
Mood,
yep. So obviously you don't want to use it on like every single page because the prologue obviously is very kind of like darker and moodier. But I would like to see it more in some of your later pages because I did notice you went from doing like these big black fills to doing more like cross hatching and stuff. And admittedly, it's like a lighter setting, so you wouldn't want as much shadow. But I'd like to see more of those like black fills brought in more, especially on like say background and foreground details. So for example, like this panel here where the other guys are like sneaking up on them, you see this like silhouette of him in the foreground. It would be nice to see more foreground elements framing them and also filled in black to give it that make it all seem like it's on the same foreground plane, and also kind of mix it into the background here because he's hiding behind a tree, but he's in darker shadow than the tree, and I think it would help make it feel more cohesive if you also added these really intense shadows to the tree and maybe other foreground elements just to bring it together more. Your flow is really nice. There were a couple pages that had some hiccups, but it's really strong in a lot of places. Like you can follow all the major objects and the dialogue down through from like your first panel to the following panels. You've got very strong flow and very strong composition, I find. I agree with Bones. He mentioned earlier how it was a little hard to tell kind of like which characters were aligned with each other. And I also had a lot of trouble with the prologue when I first read through it, figuring out like who belonged to what team, just because like we're coming into it fresh and don't have any ground laid yet on the story. And I think it was just hard to tell like where everyone was because it felt like the evil kingdom guys kind of show up out of nowhere, and it's hard to tell like where the scavenger guys are hiding in comparison to the kingdom guys. So I think it's just important, especially because like you have these what do you call them, establishing shots very early on, and I think you just need to kind of block in where your characters are and show us where they are before you start getting close-ups of them, just so we can say like, okay, this guy's hiding behind, say like the scrap metal, and the bad guys are like over here, whatever it is, just to establish where they are, and then we can say like, oh no, they're getting close, they almost found them, or whatever it is for future scenes that you need to do.
I think part of it comes with the characters comes from both. Like I thought about this for a little bit. I don't have the pictures, but I think some of it is that the shape language and the color language of the characters doesn't really say much in any sort of through line sense. Because if you look at the main team, can you go look at the
Yeah.
one, the three standing together? Is like you like I can't pull like colors throughout each of their designs.
Yeah, because
There are some colors, yeah, but like they also end up being colors that their foes kind of have. And then there's Alex, who has a very swoopy kind of design. I find the two main have kind of similar shape language.
like these two guys.
No, the paintbrush? What's her name? Their name? I forget their name. But the main guy and the one with the big hair, I find they kind of fit together. But even then, I definitely have trouble in like the color language because the guy that ends up attacking them has like the exact same sort of color palettes with like the red.
Because the only one who has a different color palette is the main character with the blues, where everyone else is wearing like greens and reds.
Yeah.
Where yeah, it is hard to tell like are they enemies or are they on the same team, just from a visual sense.
Yeah. And at the very first, one of the very first pages with the gun, um, I had a lot of trouble telling that that guy was a bad guy because he has very soft, angled kind of shape language to him. Yeah, he seemed like he has very round glasses, round face.
Yep.
Where I was just like, okay, he seems like he's a good guy. So,
True.
yeah, that's my kind of issue. Like, I think you need to work on some of like character designs in um, telling your story a bit more.
Yeah. True, because these characters kind of read as like the bad guys because they are made of like sharper uh, shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I also just I didn't quite read them as working for like they need to look scrappier, you know? There needs to be something that says like they're a scavenger compared to these who aren't scavengers.
yeah, more contrast in the designs because it looks like they're wearing like gray jumpsuit type things. It's hard. There's not a huge like full body of the kingdom guys. But yeah, just something like a big contrast between scavengers who are finding everything versus the kingdom who might be creating things more cohesively.
And then there's more cohesion between the different gangs of vultures.
Yeah.
As well. Sorry for interrupting your thing.
No, that's okay.
The paintbrush. She gets called a paintbrush at some point.
Yeah.
Like that's
It's literally in the script.
I thought she got hit by a rock at first.
Same. I thought like I thought she got hit in the head.
I didn't realize that she was being shoved into a tree.
I do love how she gets captured by the tree trunk. Like gets stuck in it. That's really cute.
It's super expressive. Like I really like that.
Oh yeah.
Like I can tell all the characters apart, but also can't at the same time. It's very weird.
I really think it's just the color and costuming
Yeah.
that's throwing it off. Because if you look at individual characters, like there's big differences between them.
Totally.
Like in their hair and their body shapes and stuff. I think it's really just the color palettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the costuming should have more contrast between the different
Because yeah,
factions.
if you look at those two at the bottom, like if you didn't tell me anything about them, I'd think they're brothers
Yeah, I can see it.
or like siblings or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a Gaston sibling, and then he has like a quiet artsy brother. Like that's what I'm imagining because they have the same sort of like they have the same color language going for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're just very similar.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the expressiveness of things. Like I love the scene where the paintbrush sorry, I can't remember their name.
The paintbrush.
is getting snuck up on, and you can tell that this guy is mute and is like, snapping fingers. There's
Yeah,
someone
that's what I
behind
mean.
you.
Like, there's really
Yeah.
great characterization. Like,
Totally.
yeah, within their designs and with their dialect and all of that, and like just it's very expressive and it's really good. It's just it's hard to group them.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, we're out of time.
We're out of time. We did
No,
it.
We did it.
Any questions?
Yes, because there's a lot covered here in a
Yeah.
small amount of time. So if you have anything that you'd like to ask, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we have another script to look at. Because I know we can go talking about these forever, which is why I figured we need a timer
Yeah.
on these. It's very good.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it.
He looks like Gaston. He is very Gaston.
It's the red and the face
Yeah.
shape. Yeah.
Yeah. No one bites Gaston. Okay, let's. No, thanks so much. You guys are great. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm.
Looking forward to seeing more from you.
Yeah, this was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Okay, we need like a image to put up. Okay, so the next thing we're talking about is a script that we received from V. It's the dance one. We've talked about it before. They've written more of it. So I get to talk about the scripts because I read all of the scripts because I'm a good boy and I wrote notes so that I'm less rambly this time. I'm going to start 20 minutes on the clock. And then when I'm done, I'll let Ursula talk. I don't think I'll talk for 20 minutes though. So, The Good. Okay. I was very excited to see the duel happening. And by see the duel, I mean imagine the duel in my head, obviously. But it was very hype because I was like, oh man, stuff is happening. I think that the announcer element was very good at making things clear about like what was going on. It was very good at like kind of highlighting important aspects of it. And I think you did a really good job overlaying scenes. Not overlaying scenes, but like creating interest within your scene by having two things going on and one being more of like a focal point. And my explanation of that is like, so you have like the announcer scene where you have the announcer explaining everything that's going on while you're having this sort of scene within the booth where they're watching things unfold and you're having their reactions. And I think it was very well done having those play out at the same time, and I didn't like lose interest in either. I thought it was well balanced, and I think you've done this before, but I think this was definitely one time that I found it was very strong, and I felt that both scenes had nice arcs to them, which I have mentioned there being kind of a struggle to do that in previous scenes. So I thought that was really good, really strong. I like that things went horribly wrong. Love that. I like when things go terrible. And there's definitely intrigue building up, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, like I said, there's like a really great arc to the new scenes that have been added. And I felt like, wow, okay, the story has started. I'm kind of in the middle of this with my own writing right now, which is writing beginnings, so it's really hard. I found this part really caught my interest. I definitely evaluate a lot of the scenes before it, because I found this part was a lot more engaging. I do think there's probably setup that's needed. I don't think Skylar needs to show up immediately because I feel like after the fight, I feel like I'm getting a lot more information about Skylar, and I'm a lot more engaged about learning his dealio, as opposed to earlier on in the story when I was just kind of waiting for things to happen. I think if you introduce Darius, or if you're just introducing Darius, Elle about to fight, and the insecurities, I think you can move into things pretty easily and quicker. Like I would definitely quicken up the earlier scenes because this was a lot stronger. Um, into kind of like the issues I had. I don't know if I've pointed this out before, but you do use a lot of passive voice throughout your script, which one when people are talking, like I don't care obviously if it's in the paragraphs explaining things to yourself, like don't worry about that, but when people are talking, I've noticed that things are very passive and you tend to or I guess like characters tend to speak in very long sentences that aren't completely necessary. um like one example is where they're like they're exclaiming things and it's like, yes, she's been given the first hit. It just feels very long for something you're shouting in like the passion of seeing something.
Yeah.
And then the answer is like early two. That push will give her a higher score. Like that's like the passive one. That push will give her a higher score. It just feels very explainy, where it's like you could just say, um, that push will give her gives her. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. Yeah,
That push gives her the higher score.
yeah, yeah. It just it's, a lot of that happened. Um, I also found that on a similar level to that, I find people talk very similarly. Like it's fine if some people would be more passive, but it feels like everyone talks in these kind of long, proper sort of ways. And I think characters need to be a little more differentiated in how that they speak, and even the jargon and slang that they use that like just shows different levels of class. Like when he's at work, you know, like you can really show class divide in how people speak and what words they choose and how their sentences are structured. So I just pay attention to how your sentences are structured within dialogue. It's hard. Like, another kind of nitpicky thing um, was when the dance competition is going on, you start seeing Elle thinking and what she is thinking, which doesn't make sense because this story up to this point, I don't. I think I might have mentioned this before. It's all in Darius's perspective. Like every time you meet a character, it's framed like kind of that Scott Pilgrim opening where Darius is like, sister, blah 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 blah, and you get like his thoughts and you get his flashbacks. So it feels very weird to jump into her head suddenly, and especially when this whole thing feels very framed as though we're with Darius in the booth looking down, hearing the announcer talk. It's weird to have Darius look down and be hearing Elle's thoughts, unless of course he somehow can hear Elle's thoughts. Maybe that's something you're going for. I don't know, but like it just feels like a head hop kind of POV thing. Um, and I think you would also, if you do get rid of her thoughts, you can show a lot more um, in. You can just show a lot more. Like showing people's thoughts, even if it is correct POV, um, can really like drag down your action, and it can be kind of a crutch. So instead of having her thinking out what to do, you can show what she's looking at. Um, the best example I can think of it is like in that one Pirates of the Caribbean, that one terrible one, like the very opening scene where Jack Sparrow's like at the table and he looks at all the things, and then it unfolds. Like,
Oh.
yeah, like you just kind of have to bring that sort of dealio. It's like looking at like assessing the situation, and then following through with it. Um, just it's just good action advice. Um, yeah, that's mostly what I have to say. I thought it was really strong. I'm very excited to see what goes down. It's definitely picking up pace. A lot of the issues I had in the previous things are a lot lessened because I'm starting to see where things are going. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I felt really engaged with the fight scene. There's a lot of tension building. Um, there's lots of hooks that are being brought in that are making me want to read more. Like, what did the other coach say to Skylar that made him look shocked? What is this Felix guy? Did he actually do like a foul play move against Elle that made her lose? Darius seems more and more like he wants to get back into dance, but he's like, no, I can't. And I'm feeling a lot more engaged in these scenes, like Bone said. There was one point where I was a little confused that you might, want to bring more detail into later, or maybe you need to hang more of a lantern on it. There was one point where Christian and Darius are talking, and they mention Elle's pain tolerance, and how Darius is like, her pain tolerance is low, and Christian says, like, she'll have to work on that, but it's hard to build. And I was just confused about, like, are they not allowed to show pain in this, or it just confused me. I didn't quite understand it. So that's like my one little confusion nitpicky thing. I was also...
Oh my god, passive voice in script will be the death of me. Don't you mean passive voice in my script kills me?
There you go. There was I have another little weapons nitpicky thing. It would probably help seeing the weapons they're carrying to understand kind of like how much range and stuff they have. But if Felix, is that the opponent's name? Yeah, Felix. If he has a lance, so I'm assuming it's like a longer weapon, and Elle is using daggers, which are smaller, he has a lot more reach, whereas she needs to get in close to attack. And they do mention, like, as they're watching, they say Felix, like, bears down on his opponents really hard, so it's good for her to, like, get out of his range. But the problem is if, like, she's out of his range, which is big because he's got a long weapon, how is she going to get in to get any hits on him? So I was a little confused about the strategy there, but I might be imagining his weapon wrong. If it's smaller, then it can make more sense for her to be far away.
I was just imagining anime, so I was like, who cares?
I guess that's fair. This is me being nitpicky about weaponsy stuff. But that's just something to think about, is where characters need to be to land hits and stuff. But again, visuals would really help, because I'm just imagining this in my head, where is if you can see like them jumping in to get hits and then jumping away and stuff, it can be very different. But yeah, I was really intrigued. I really like imagining the fight scenes and the dance stuff. It seems like a really cool sport, and I like how you've thought out like all the rules and stuff. Like, it's really cool and engaging.
Heck yeah.
Like, I like how he injures her, and then he runs off to do like solo dancing and stuff, and she's like, oh no, I gotta get back. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I want to see this. So yeah, it was really good. I was really engaged. And that's all I got.
When did you lot get so sassy? I've been sassy since the day I was born. Any questions?
Yeah.
Confusions? Or can we go free?
But yeah, let us know, V, if you have any questions.
I think I did a great job. I'm really proud of myself. I really pulled it together at the end there.
You did. You were holding back this whole time. Then you started...
I just wanted you to be able to talk about art more.
Aw, thanks.
Just try not to interrupt you all the time.
Thank you. I do appreciate that.
She's like, please interrupt me. I just, my voice is tired.
I know. I'm like, voice. I'm always tired after these things because I never talk ever. And then during critiques, I talk a lot. I talk like a normal amount, like normal people do.
Yeah, she's usually quiet unless she's yelling at me.
Yeah. Pretty much. You're not wrong.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
See you guys later tonight when we stream again. Totally. We won't. Unless we do.
Who knows? We're a wild card.
I want to clean the fridge. Not right now, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think V's gone, so.
Oh,
Or quiet. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, we
See
can
you
always
guys
ask us
tomorrow.
later. Tomorrow.
I don't know why, but see you.
Goodbye.
Say hi to me on the Discord, and then you'll see me tomorrow.
There we go.
Woo!
Goodbye. See you next time.